if you've already got a story in place, you should be creating fashion that really marries to the story and enhances it and helps tell it and helps move it on. And I don't feel that was done here at all. Hi, everybody. This is Diane Gilman, formerly known as the Queen of Jeans, but now the proud host of Fashion Thursdays with Diane. Well, one thing we love to do is cover current fashion events. And honestly, because of a severe lack of quality acting on the part of the star of All's Fair, Kim Kardashian, but recognizing the allure of the Kardashian lifestyle and the name and the branding of it, we felt that this was definitely a worthy subject to go through the whole wardrobe. I do want to say, in transparency, that I tried to watch through one episode. I couldn't do it. I got through about 8 or 9 minutes, and then I had to put it down. I'm very big about using my brain, adding to my intellect, learning, and I feel that the entire quality of this production was brought down to Kim Kardashian's level of acting ability, which is pretty low. And I do have to agree with the 15 top critics who all gave it a 0 on Tomato Meter. It was a 0. Somebody said, "What's wrong with you? Don't you know how to have fun?" Yeah, this was not fun. Something like Creature from the Black Lagoon, where he's in a rubber frog suit, is low-level scripting, absolutely absurd, fun. I love grade B minus horror movies. But this was just an assault to your senses. And unfortunately, part of it, honestly, was the wardrobe. I just don't understand how Kim Kardashian, who has a really great instinctive sense of what to wear and a statement to make per social event, came up with this stylist and this wardrobe. It is so antithetical to the whole message of smart women, swish, one-liners. I'm not sure what it was, but it was her choice. She got her very own stylist who she met off Instagram. Not only do I feel, and this is what bothers me the most, I thought, look, at least we know she can't act, but she can dress herself. But no, not here. Not even that. And that's what makes it so frustrating for a fashionista like me. I can't even dig into the clothing and say, well, this was beautiful, or this was enriched, or this was the epitome of. None of that. There were maybe out of all of the wardrobe changes, and they depend heavily on wardrobe for All's Fair because they can't depend on dialogue or how it's delivered. They can't depend on character development. Her wardrobe basically should have served a real heavy lift purpose. If I had to honestly rate it as a fashion critic, I would give it maybe a 1 out of a 10. It just didn't work. It didn't bond. It didn't marry to the character. It didn't enhance Kim Kardashian's character in any way. And God bless her. I have tremendous amount of respect for her. She has created a whole industry, reality television, a brand that's global, that's worth billions of dollars. I just don't think acting and wardrobing for a TV show is her thing. But you know what? Let's get into the wardrobe and you'll see for yourself. It's not a coincidence that it premiered with Kris Jenner's 70th birthday bash at Jeff Bezos' small little $165 million shack in Beverly Hills, and Kim premiering as the star of All's Fair and taking the bar. I don't think they planned on her failing the bar. Kim says, I'm all in. I'll just take it again. Now, setup for the show. Yeah, that on the left in the yellow outfit is a filtered version of Kris Jenner at 70. And it's filtered. Trust me, it's not for real. And I know this because I'm very jealous because my team never lets me use filters. They think authenticity rules. I'm not so sure about that. That's her after her $200,000 facelift that was big PR. That's her months later in the red dress at her birthday party. Now, tell me, you wouldn't love to walk around with that amount of AI doing who you are. I mean, they don't even look like the same person. But you know what? That is the world we live in today. So now that you know the level of filtering that works into the Kardashian lifestyle and is really one of their big branding tools, we're going to get into All's Fair. It's about all female divorce lawyers. Oh, yeah. And of course, they're all wearing bright satin suits to the office and surrounded by books. And they're all about divorce. And it's like, snap, we won it. So when I saw who was in this, Glenn Close and Naomi Watts and Sarah Paulson, I thought to myself, all right, I mean, you've got real gravitas actresses in this. And I went back and watched Dangerous Liaison the other day, and I mean, Glenn Close was just superb in that. What an actress. So what the fuck are you doing in All's Fair? And you too, Naomi Watts, who is now almost 60. Glenn Close is now almost 80. So maybe because of ageism in Hollywood, work slows down. But know that I would ever wear any of these colors out in public, but I sure as hell wouldn't be wearing them to a day at the office. So the setup already, as one person put it, is looking like evil James Bond heroines. Yeah, the suits are satin. They're color saturated. Their look at me kind of clothing are trust me, exact for sure, opposites of what a real female lawyer wears. And check out Kim's skirt. Make sure if you're a female lawyer that you cut your skirt up to your Skims underwear brand thong. Really? Okay, so here's the setup. You're filtered to high heaven. You don't even look like you. And you're wearing colors nobody would ever wear to the office. I think no matter what profession they were in, even fashion. And you have a level of sexuality that is incredibly distracting, absolutely not supportable in everyday life. And so that through the wardrobe is the setup. We're not talking about reality here. And believe me, you're talking to somebody who cannot act. Yeah, I can talk in front of a television camera or a video camera, but I make newest versions. So after the first set of reviews came in, which were less than kind, Kim hits back because for Hulu, this was the biggest scripted series premiere in 3 years. It hit an all-time high for the first show. It did incredibly well for the second show. And now we have to wonder why anybody would want to waste their time watching literally nothing. You know, I always remember as a kid going to the circus or going somewhere where there was a Ferris wheel, it was a carnival. And the one thing I always hated was cotton candy because it had absolutely no density to it, no center to it. It was just like puffy and weird. And that's exactly what the show is like. Cotton candy. Sugary, sweet, barely digestible, not interesting. And by the time you're done with it, no substance at all. No character development at all. I just wonder how this show can go on existing. And on top of it all, I have to say, maybe she carries her core audience with her because I have a lot of respect for Kim Kardashian. Kim Kardashian has built a whole brand around her that spawned an industry, reality TV. And her underwear, I bought it, Skims. It's okay. There's other underwear out there constructed the same that might actually be a little better to wear. But after many tries in the retail arena, she finally found the brand and the content of the brand, which is undergarments that fit her personality and the sex tapes the most. And bravo to that. When you've looked at those first group pictures and now you look at the cast, including Glenn Close and Miss Paulson, and you compare, this was much, much, much less filtered than the previous. You see, I mean, Glenn Close is almost 80 years old. Give her a break. But it's all about fantasy. So now we'll go ahead and start just very quickly getting into the wardrobe. Oh, yeah, that white suit. That is, of course, that's something you're going to wear into the courtroom for a bitter, high end, high stakes divorce court. Give me a break. And that seems to be something that Kim Kardashian loves a lot, those high slits and low necklines, because she chose, and I hope I say this correctly, Saki Mack, who she found off Instagram as her own personal stylist. She is the only cast member that actually has her own dedicated stylist. So you cannot put any of this wardrobe off on, oh, well, Hulu. They didn't really do her justice. I know. She picked every single outfit she wore. So that high slit, totally realistic. The outfit next to it with half her bazooms hanging out. Yeah, another completely realistic representation of being a high end. I'm going to win it all. Everything's on the line. Female lawyer. Uh huh. Okay. I don't like it. The white suit, I kind of like, but that would be something I would be wearing with a slit not quite so high to a summer party, not to a divorce court. And low cut, you know what? I really and truthfully think this is not even attractive on her. I think it makes her look heavy and not even top heavy, just heavy and ungainly. Okay, I don't like, but the white suit, I could see bringing the slit down and having it be more reasonable for a summer social event. All right. Yeah. I have a big office. I'm sitting on the sofa in my office. Oh, my, it's a hot summer day, so I've just got my skirt up and I'm wearing my garter belt and my stockings. Yeah, completely realistic for looking at law briefs. And then, of course, another low cut suit. But here, at least I have to applaud the gray because appropriate color for sure. If you remember Marcia Clark and the O.J. Simpson trial, the one thing that drove me nuts was, I mean, she looked so bad during the trial. Terrible, terrible 1980s into 1990s permanent and ill-fitting clothing. Look at how different Marcia Clark was from All's Fair. Here, you're just looking at thousands of dollars worth of accessories, beautiful jewelry, stuff that no female lawyer would wear, whether it was a day in the office and meeting clients. I'm telling you right now, that low-cut outfit, if I walked into a boardroom and this was the lawyer I was meeting, I wouldn't even give a handshake. I would walk right back out again. I want someone serious defending my money for me. Do I get it? Do I not get it? I think it's okay. I think it's very busy. I think, again, the outfit with the leather sleeves is very distracting. And the one interesting thing, and I will say this also, a majority of female lawyers who are in a top rung are either wearing a Chanel suit because it speaks for itself, what it's worth, and what it says, I'm a lady, or they're wearing a very borrowed from the boys male pantsuit, which you don't see on anybody in this TV series. I don't know that I even on a level of isolating the outfit past the all's fair banner and saying, I love it, or I think that's the best look for Kim Kardashian. Because honestly, I kind of don't. Okay, so this is the other hilarious thing, and I was just watching it the other day, was the outfit with the bustier is actually from Michael Kors from 1999 runway show. I like it. It's nothing new. I would think it looks I would be totally distracted thinking, oh, this looks really uncomfortable to wear. But at least I like the colors. Everything they have on Kim, and I don't see that she really had any choice considering her image, everything they have on her is super form fitting. It's all about, to me, almost saying, don't look at my brain, just look at my boobs. Don't look at my brain, just look at my hips and my tiny waist. I don't know. This, at least, both of these are a little more realistic, and the neutral colors are definitely friendlier to what should have been the subject matter. Ha. This one is a little difficult to explain. Guess who this is? Her brother. No, not in real life. He's not a Kardashian. Her brother in the series. Her blood brother. And what is she doing in a semi-sheer evening outfit, straddling his lap, kissing him? He's her brother. Oh, so full disclosure, utter transparency. Let me say, I don't really care because honestly, this is worse. All's fair, and it's all's fair to tell you what I think. This is worse than the worst soap opera. This is worse than the worst script I've ever read through. So God knows what the explanation is for having a sexual moment with your own brother, but I'm sure they're thinking it up. And you know, the guy that developed this, All's Fair, Ryan Murphy, also developed parts of American Horror Story. So there is a season, pardon me for forgetting it, where he cast Kim Kardashian in American Horror Story. And he is comfortable with doing castings into dramas with what I would call social icons. Like Lady Gaga was the vampire in the vampire season of American Horror Story, and she was actually pretty good. Her makeup, that whole thing, really helped her a lot, but she was pretty good. And you know, Kim Kardashian was actually slightly to really more acceptable and better in American Horror Story. She had less words. It wasn't up to 10 words at a time. It was about 5 words or 4 words. But she came through it kind of okay. The critics all said, I don't know, she is terrible. And she has dragged down American Horror Story. I actually thought she was much better than she is in All's Fair. So, ask me on a beauty level about all the things that drive me crazy about the cosmetic industry as all of us, you and I, are growing older. And one basic point I will tell you is if you have made the decision to have natural gray hair or white hair like me, you can't find an eyebrow pencil in the right color. Oh, it's so weird. You go out into the market and yeah, there's like warm blondes and beiges, but That doesn't look right with salt and pepper. Until you get to Prime Prometics, which is literally the only eyebrow pencil on the market that comes in a gorgeous shade of medium gray. It looks natural. It is a very thin pencil, so you can actually feather in the lines. Very easy to work with and stays on for hours and hours. So if you want to bring your look closer together where everything melds and you want a more authentic look in your makeup, because it's so weird to put on your makeup and then have to put on a different color than your hair for your eyebrows. No, you do not have to suffer that way anymore. Prime Prometics, their gray eyebrow pencil, is superb and truly in an entire cosmetic market. It stands head and shoulders above the rest and is truly unique and tailored to us older girls. Thank you, Prime Prometics. And of course, go to primeprometics.com, type in our code, and get a discount. You are going to love this product. It is truly tailored for us older girls, and I am so grateful to have it in my life and my beauty kit. Just as a conclusion, and as somebody who's been in fashion 55 years now, over half a century, fashion is all about identity. Fashion is all about your message to every eyeball out there of power, your dialogue, your character, your mood, who you want to be that day and every day going forward. And you know what? One of the fun things about fashion is it keeps moving on. So nothing sticks. So you can keep revolving and evolving yourself through fashion. I think this was one of the worst set of wardrobe choices from even the beginning, and just the commercials and the ads with those bright satin suits all the way through. It was so unrepresentative of the story because to me, if you are telling a story, number one, as a designer, but if you've already got a story in place, you should be creating fashion that really marries to the story and enhances it and helps tell it and helps move it on. And I don't feel that was done here at all. And I think for me, as somebody who loves fashion and sees it as an entire form of personal and professional expression, this wardrobe was as abject a failure as the script and the lack of acting power in the star, who, by the way, coincidentally took the California bar exam at the same time as the premiere and failed it. And Kim Kardashian actually said, what was all the fault of Chat GBT? Please explain that one to me. You had AI take your test for you, huh? And then said, well, actually, I work with psychics, and the psychics told me I was going to pass the bar, and so it's all their fault. Well, okay, who knows? But guess what? All in all, this is probably, it ranks right up there as maybe the worst piece of entertainment I've ever seen. And yes, I am serious in real life. And yes, I like the dark side of things, like the Frankenstein movie that just came out by Guillermo del Toro. But setting that aside, it's still lacking in any form of realism, in any beauty in the wardrobe, any extent, the production and the making of the characters. I don't know. I'm siding with the 15 top critics who gave it a 0 on the tomato meter. Sorry for all of you who love Kim Kardashian, and you can go on loving her for sure, but you don't necessarily have to love All's Fair. Thanks for listening.
Thank you so much for listening to Too Young to Be Old podcast. The episode may be over, but the fun doesn't have to stop here. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at The Diane Gilman, or visit our website, thedianegilman.com. If you like the show, leave us a rating or a review and subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. And until then, don't forget, age is just a number. Together, we'll prove that we are all too young to be old.